Have you ever walked past someone in the supermarket, in the elevator, or even in line at the cafe and thought that this person had an ordinary job? What if I told you that this same person could be earning more than 180,000 US dollars a year? Sounds impossible, right? But the truth is that there are professions in the United States that look absolutely normal on the outside, but that hide salaries that would make any executive in a suit and tie envious, while everyone is obsessed with traditional high-paying careers: doctors, lawyers, tech, executivists. There is a silent group of professionals who are making fortunes, doing things you would never imagine. These people don't appear on magazine covers. They do not show their salaries. In fact, they prefer to keep everything private, working quietly while filling their bank accounts. The big question is, why doesn't anyone talk about it? Simple. The less people know, the less competition there is. And that's exactly why this video can completely change your perspective on career and money in the United States. Get ready, because what you're about to discover will challenge everything you thought you knew about high-paying jobs. I will reveal 9 professions that seem absolutely ordinary, but which secretly put their professionals in the top 5% of the highest salaries in the country. And the most impressive? Many of them don't require degrees from expensive universities or privileged political connections. Before we get started, let me ask you a question. Do you really want to know how ordinary people are earning extraordinary salaries? Because once you know, there's no going back. Your brain will begin to see opportunities where before you only saw normality. Let's get right to the point. The first profession on our list can completely shock you. Number 9. Air traffic controller. Imagine a person sitting in a room full of monitors, wearing headphones, looking just like another office worker. Nothing too special, right? Wrong. Completely wrong. Air traffic controllers in the United States earn between 138,000 US dollars and 195,000 US dollars per year. Yes, you read correctly, and the most experienced working at such high-density airports as JFK in New York or LAX in Los Angeles can easily surpass the mark of 200,000 US dollars annually. But why so much money? The answer is simple: extreme responsibility. These professionals literally have thousands of lives in their hands every day. A miscalculation, a distraction of seconds can result in tragedy. The psychological pressure is immense. For this, the American government compensates handsomely. The most interesting: you don't need a 4-year college degree. The FAA, the Federal Aviation Agency, provides specialized training. Sure, it's intense and challenging, but it's completely possible for determined people who have good concentration, skills, and quick decision-making. Think about it. While your friends are paying 100,000 US dollars in student loans to get jobs that pay 60,000 US dollars a year, you could be earning 3 times as much by controlling the skies of America. Number 8. Funeral home manager. Now, this profession will make you completely rethink your prejudices about morbid carers. Funeral home managers in the United States, especially those who own their own establishments or manage large chains, earn between 150,000 US dollars and 210,000 US dollars per year. Wait, what do you mean, a funeral home? Yep. And here's the secret: no one wants to admit death is one of life's few certainties. And in the United States, funerals are extremely expensive. An average funeral costs between 7,000 US dollars and 12,000 US dollars. In some richer regions, this figure can easily double. Experienced funeral home managers not only organize ceremonies, they are complete entrepreneurs. They sell coffins, urns, caskets, flowers, embalming, cremation services, and more, and each of these items has impressive profit margins. In addition, this is a business that is resilient to economic crises. People can put off buying cars, houses, or holidays, but they can't put off a funeral. Demand is constant, predictable, and with the aging of the American population growing, the most fascinating part: people treat such professionals with respect and discretion. No one is asking how much you earn. No one questions their prices at the most vulnerable time in life. It is a quiet, profitable, and essential business. Are you enjoying these revelations? So don't miss any video. Subscribe now to the Salary Uncovered channel and turn on the notifications. Tinkerbell, share this video with that person who is always looking for new career opportunities. Believe me, you could be changing someone's life right now. Number 7. Water and Sewage Treatment Systems Manager. Get ready for another surprise. Managers of water and sewage treatment plants earn between $145,000 and $205,000 a year, especially in large cities such as New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, and Houston. You probably never thought about it, but every time you turn on the tap, take a shower, or flush, there is a whole complex infrastructure at work, and someone needs to manage it. Someone needs to make sure the water coming into your home is clean and safe. Someone needs to make sure the sewage is treated properly. These managers oversee multi-million-dollar operations, large teams of technicians and engineers, and are responsible for the public health of millions of people. One mistake can contaminate an entire city's water supply. Therefore, the salary reflects this critical responsibility. What makes this career even more attractive is stability. City and state governments will always need these professionals. It doesn't matter if we are in recession or prosperity. The water needs to flow, and the sewage needs to be treated. And here's the kicker. Many of these professionals started out as field technicians, learning the system from the inside out before moving up to managerial positions. An MBA from Harvard is not required. What is needed is solid technical knowledge, practical experience, and management skills. Number 6, elevator specialist, elevator mechanic. This one will surprise you even more. Elevator mechanics, especially those who work in large cities with skyscrapers, earn between $120,000 and $185,000 a year. Masters of the profession, those with decades of experience and specialized certifications, can easily reach $200,000 or more. Think about it. New York has more than 70,000 elevators. Chicago, Los Angeles, San Francisco. All of these cities are completely dependent on perfectly functioning elevators. A single broken elevator in an office building can cost thousands of dollars a day in lost productivity. But it's not just about fixing elevators. These professionals install new systems, modernize old equipment, perform mandatory safety inspections, and are on call for emergencies. And you know who pays? Wealthy companies, corporations, luxury condos, everyone who needs to keep their elevators running, no matter the cost. The training is through practical learning apprenticeship that usually lasts 4 to 5 years. During this time, you are already making money while learning. Once you graduate, you join a strong union that guarantees excellent benefits, robust retirement, and job security. And here's a detail that few people know. There is a chronic shortage of elevator mechanics in the United States. Demand vastly outstrips supply, which keeps wages high and opportunities plentiful. Number 5. Commercial property manager. You see these giant office buildings, shopping centers, industrial complexes. Someone needs to manage all this. And these commercial property managers are earning between $155,000 and $220,000 a year, especially when they manage multiple properties or large complexes in metropolitan areas. Their job is to make sure everything runs smoothly, from finding corporate tenants to negotiating million-dollar rental agreements, coordinating maintenance, managing huge budgets, and maximizing return on investment for landlords. But here's the secret. Many of these managers also receive substantial performance-based bonuses. If they manage to keep occupancy rates high, negotiate lucrative contracts, or increase the value of the property, they can receive bonuses that easily add another $30,000 to $80,000 to the base salary. In addition, this is a field where networking and experience are worth gold. You don't necessarily have to have an MBA, although it helps. What you need is in-depth knowledge of the commercial real estate market, negotiation skills, and the ability to build relationships with key corporate tenants. Many professionals start out as property management assistants, learn the business from the inside, build a network of contacts, and gradually take on larger, more profitable properties. Number 4. Energy and utilities manager. Here is another invisible profession that pays fortunes. Senior managers in electric power, natural gas, and other utility companies earn between $165,000 and $230,000 a year. These companies operate in regulated monopolies, generating predictable and huge revenues. Someone needs to manage operations, ensure regulatory compliance plan, infrastructure expansions, and coordinate emergency responses. When a hurricane knocks down power lines across an entire region, who do you think is coordinating the restoration of service? When an extreme cold snap overwhelms the power grid, who is making critical decisions to prevent blackouts? Energy managers. The responsibility is massive. Millions of people depend on electricity and gas for their daily lives. Hospitals, data centers, industries, they all need constant and reliable supply. And here's the bonus: these jobs are extremely stable. Utilities don't break down in recessions. In fact, they are considered defensive investments because they provide essential services regardless of the economy. Many managers start out as electrical engineers, line technicians, or operational analysts and work their way up the ranks over the years. Leave a comment. Now, which of these professions have surprised you the most so far? Do you know anyone who works at any of them? Share your experience or opinion in the comments. Your participation helps the channel grow and reach more people. Number 3. Specialized supply chain manager. This profession has exploded in importance and salary in recent years. Supply chain managers, especially those specializing in complex industries such as pharmaceutical technology or automotive, earn between $170,000 and $240,000 per year. Why so much money? Because the COVID-19 pandemic has shown the whole world how critical a well-managed supply chain is. When products don't arrive, companies lose billions. When there are delays in production, stocks plummet. These managers are responsible for coordinating global suppliers, managing multi-million-dollar inventory, negotiating international contracts, forecasting demand, and making sure everything arrives in the right place, at the right time, at the right price. And we're not just talking about big corporations, medium-sized companies that rely on imported components, distributors that manage complex networks, manufacturers that need specific raw materials. All need these specialists. The most interesting thing is that you don't necessarily need a supply chain degree. Many professionals come from backgrounds in engineering, management, or even military logistics. What matters is understanding complex systems, having strong analytical skills, and being able to think strategically under pressure. And with the growth of ECPASEX and continued globalization, the demand for these professionals will only increase. Number 2. Hospital pharmacy manager. Pharmacists usually earn well, this is no secret. But hospital pharmacy managers, especially in large medical centers and university hospitals, earn between $175,000 and $245,000 a year there. Not just dispensing medication. They manage multi-million-dollar pharmacy budgets, negotiate contracts with pharmaceutical suppliers, implement hospital-wide medication protocols, manage large teams of pharmacists and technicians, and ensure compliance with extremely strict federal regulations. A mistake in the hospital pharmacy can literally kill people. So the responsibility is immense, and the salary reflects that. In addition, hospitals are under constant pressure to reduce costs while maintaining quality. A pharmacy manager who can negotiate better contracts, reduce waste, and implement more efficient systems can save the hospital millions of dollars, and they are generously compensated for it. The path to this position usually begins with a Doctor of Pharmacy (PharmD) degree, followed by a few years of clinical experience. Afterwards, you can do a residency or fellowship in hospital pharmacy administration. It is a long way, but extremely profitable. And here's an important detail: the American population is aging rapidly. Older people take more medications, stay longer in the hospital, and need more complex pharmacological management. The demand for these professionals will only grow. We're halfway through the video and you're discovering amazing opportunities. If you're enjoying this exclusive content, subscribe to the Salary Uncovered channel now. Be sure to turn on notifications so you don't miss any revelations about salaries and careers in the United States. Number 1. Specialized commercial drone pilot. And finally, we come to profession number 1, the one that can really shock you. Specialized commercial drone pilots, particularly those working in infrastructure inspection, precision agriculture, or film filming, earn between $145,000 and $280,000 per year. Wait, flying drones? Yep, and here's why. Imagine that you need to inspect a high-voltage electrical transmission line that stretches for hundreds of kilometers. In the old days, this required helicopters, large crews, and cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now, a specialized drone pilot with proper equipment can do the same job in a fraction of the time and cost, but still charge $15,000 to $30,000 per projector. Think of inspections of bridges, telecom towers, offshore oil rigs, gas pipelines, solar panels on gigantic farms. All these infrastructures need regular inspection, and drones are completely revolutionizing this field in agriculture. Drones equipped with specialized sensors can analyze crop health, identify nutrient-deficient areas, detect pests early, and optimize irrigation. Large farmers are willing to pay very well for these services because they save millions on fertilizer, water, and crop loss. And in the film and advertising industry, drone pilots who can capture stunning cinematic shots earn between $2,000 and $5,000 per shooting day. Best of all, the barrier to entry is relatively low. You need a license from the Federal Aviation Administration Part 107, which can be obtained by studying for a couple of weeks and passing a test. Then you need to invest in quality equipment, which can cost from $5,000 to $20,000, depending on the specialization. But here's the secret: it's not just about piloting, it's about deeply understanding the industry you're serving. If you want to do power line inspections, you need to understand electrical engineering. If you want to work in agriculture, you need to understand agronomy. If you want to work in film, you need to understand cinematography. Pilots who earn extraordinary salaries are those who combine technical piloting skills with in-depth knowledge of a specific industry. They're not just drone operators, they're expert consultants who happen to use drones as a tool, and demand is exploding. New regulations are being created, allowing more commercial uses of drones. Technology is advancing rapidly, and more industries are discovering profitable applications for this technology. Why do these professions pay so much now that you know these 9 amazing professions? Let's talk about the standard they all share. Why do seemingly normal jobs pay extraordinary salaries? First, critical responsibility. All of these professions involve huge consequences. If something goes wrong, lives millions of dollars. Essential infrastructural, this is at stake, and extreme responsibility is always compensated by high wages. Second, shortage of qualified professionals. In all these areas, there is more demand than supply. There are not enough people with the necessary skills and certifications, and when supply is low and demand is high, wages naturally rise. Third, specialized knowledge. These are not professions that you learn in 6 months. They require years of training, hands-on experience, and often difficult to obtain certifications. But here's the secret: the return on this time investment is extraordinary. Fourth, social invisibility. No one is talking about these careers at parties or posting about them on LinkedIn. They operate below the social radar, which means less glamour, but also less absurd competition like you see in tech or finance. Fifth, stability and constant demand. All these professions meet fundamental needs of society that do not disappear in recessions. Elevators will always need maintenance. Water will always need treatment. People are always going to die and need funerals. What does this mean for you hairs? The truth: many people don't want to hear you've been taught to chase status instead of money. It was taught that you need a diploma from a famous university, work in a company that everyone knows, have an impressive position on the business card. But while you are chasing status, other people are quietly building fortunes in professions that no one considers prestigious. They are earning $180,000, $200,000, $250,000 a year, while their university colleagues with impressive degrees are earning $70,000 and complaining about the cost of living. The education system does not prepare you for these opportunities. Schools promote the same saturated career paths because it's easier, more predictable. But the real gains lie outside the conventional path now. This does not mean that these professions are easy. Far from it. Each requires real dedication, serious training, and genuine commitment. But the cost-effectiveness is incomparably better than traditional ways. Think about it: you can spend $200,000 on an MBA from a top business school. Compete with thousands of other graduates for the same job and start earning $120,000 with absurd work hours. Or you can take an elevator mechanic apprenticeship, make money while you learn, and in 5 years be earning $150,000 with job security guaranteed by a strong union. Which path makes the most sense financially? How to get started? If any of these professions have piqued your interest, here are the practical steps. For air traffic controller, visit the FAA website and search for training programs. There are age, prerequisites, and medical examinations. But training is provided for funeral home manager. You can start by working in a funeral home to understand the business, then take mortuary science courses, and eventually get state licensing for water treatment manager. Look for technician positions in your city or county, get EPA Environmental Protection Agency certifications, and work your way up. For elevator mechanics, look for apprenticeship programs offered by unions such as the International Union of Elevator Constructors. The competition is high, but if you manage to get in, you are guaranteed. For commercial property manager, start as a property management assistant, earn certifications as a CPM, CETA property manager, and build experience for energy manager. A degree in electrical engineering or similar opens doors. Then it's a matter of gaining experience within utility companies. For supply chain manager, certifications such as CSCP, CETA supply chain professional, combined with Hansen experience are the way. For hospital pharmacy manager, you need a pharma clinical experience and possibly an administrative residency. For commercial drone pilot, start by getting the 107th part license from the Federal Aviation Administration. Invest in good equipment and specialize in a specific industry. The inconvenient truth, but I'll be completely honest with you. Knowledge without action is worth nothing. You can watch this video, get excited, share with friends, but if you don't take the next concrete step, nothing will change. Most people will finish this video, think that's interesting, and go back to their routine without doing anything different. They will continue to complain about low wages, lack of opportunities, student debt, but they will not have the courage to explore a different path. The difference between who earns $60,000 and who earns $180,000 is often not talent or intelligence, it's courage to make different choices, willingness to invest in less glamorous training, and ability to think long-term. These professions exist. Right now, opportunities are available, but the vast majority of people will never even seriously investigate because they are stuck with outdated narratives about success and career future of these professions. One last important thing, all these professions have excellent long-term prospects. Automation and artificial intelligence will eliminate many jobs in the coming decades, but these 9 professions have something in common. They all require human judgment, specialized manual skills, or responsibilities that society will not entrust to machines anytime soon. A robot will not manage a funeral home and comfort grieving families. I will not negotiate multi-million-dollar commercial property contracts based on relationship nuances. Autonomous drones will not completely replace pilots who specialize in critical infrastructure inspections, at least not in the coming decades. You're looking at careers that not only pay well now, but that have sustainable demand for the foreseeable future. Changing your mindset, the biggest obstacle is not the lack of opportunities, it's the mentality. You have been conditioned to associate prestige with satisfaction, impressive titles with financial security, expensive diplomas with guaranteed success. But the reality of the American job market is much more complex and full of hidden opportunities. The most financially successful people are often those who think differently from the herd. While everyone is running in the same direction, they find less saturated but more profitable paths. You don't need social approval to earn well. You don't need your parents to be proud of your position to have a robust bank account. You don't have to impress anyone on LinkedIn to build real wealth. What you need is to be willing to explore options that other people ignore out of prejudice or ignorance. Which of these 9 professions interested you the most? Do you see yourself exploring any of them? Or do you know someone who already works in one? Leave your comment now. Let's create a rich discussion here in the comments about career opportunities that no one talks about. The decision is yours at the end of the day. Information is only potential. What you do with it determines your future. This video gave you valuable information about 9 career paths that most people never consider. Now, you have 3 options. Option 1. Ignore it completely. Go back to your routine and keep complaining about the same things. Option 2. Find it interesting, but don't do anything concrete, letting that information get lost in your memory, along with dozens of other videos you watch. Option 3. Choose 1 or 2 of these professions that really resonate with you. Research deeply, connect with professionals in the field, and start taking concrete steps toward real career change. Choice is completely yours. But remember, time will pass anyway. In 5 years, you'll be 5 years older, with or without a career change. The question is whether these 5 years will leave you in the same place or will put you in a completely different position, earning salaries that today seem impossible. Opportunity versus luck. Many people look at successful professionals and attribute their success to luck. He was lucky to get into this field before it got saturated. She was lucky to meet the right people. But here's the truth: luck is when preparation meets opportunity, and opportunity is literally everywhere. You just need to have your eyes open to see it. These 9 professions are not secret in the sense of being inaccessible. They are secret only because most people never look at them. They exist in plain sight, but are invisible to those who are focused only on conventional paths. The person who decides to become an elevator mechanic was not lucky. She had the courage to choose a non-glamorous path that pays extraordinarily well. The person who manages commercial properties was not lucky. She has developed specific skills that the market values highly. Luck is a concept that people without agency use to explain the success of others without taking responsibility for their own failure. The power of specialization, another important lesson from these 9 professions. They all benefit massively from deep specialization in the modern world. You have 2 choices: be a mediocre generalist competing with millions of other people, or be an exceptional specialist in a niche that few people master. Extraordinary salaries come from specialization. A generic drone pilot can earn $50,000 a year, but a pilot who specializes in inspecting high-voltage lines with specific certifications and specialized equipment earns $200,000. The difference is not only technical skill, it is the time invested to become irreplaceable in a particular niche. This is one of the reasons why general education is losing value. A degree in business administration puts you in competition with hundreds of thousands of other graduates, but specific certifications in high-demand technical areas put you in a small pool of qualified candidates. Investment versus spending. Let me give you another important perspective. Not all money spent on education is investment. If you spend $100,000 on a degree that leads you to a job worth $50,000 a year, this is not investment, it's spent. In fact, it is a terrible expense because you will still pay interest on student loans. But if you spend $5,000 on a specialized training program that qualifies you for a job worth $150,000 a year, this is genuine investment. The payback is clear, measurable, and happens quickly. Many of the professions we discuss in this video have low entry costs compared to potential returns. That's smart investing. Society has convinced you that you need an expensive college degree to succeed, but the data clearly shows that this is not true. There are thousands of people earning more than $150,000 a year without ever having set foot in a 4-year university. What do they have in common? Specific skills that the market values, relevant certifications, and practical experience. Breaking down mental barriers. The biggest obstacle for most people is not ability. It's belief. You believe that only people with specific degrees or privileged connections get high salaries. But this is objectively false, as these 9 professions prove. You believe that you have to choose between doing what you love and earning well. But many professionals in these areas genuinely enjoy what they do and are well compensated for it. You believe that your current training limits you to certain paths. But people successfully change careers all the time, especially when they invest in relevant training. These limiting beliefs are social programming. They've been installed on you by a system that benefits from keeping you in low-paying, predictable jobs. Breaking through these mental barriers is the first real step towards significant career and salary changes. Immediate action versus perpetual planning. Many people fall into the trap of perpetual planning. They will research exhaustively, make spreadsheets, consider all the variables, but never really take the first concrete step. Analysis paralysis is real, and often it's just fear disguised as prudence. If one of these professions has genuinely interested you, the first step does not have to be drastic. It can be simply connecting with someone in the area on LinkedIn and asking questions. You can search for certification programs in your area. It can be visiting a workplace to better understand. The routine, small, concrete steps always outweigh big plans that never get off the ground. The person who starts an elevator mechanic apprenticeship today, even if it's only part-time, while holding down another job, is infinitely closer to making $180,000 a year than the person who just thinks about it, but never acts, building real wealth. Let's talk about simple math of wealth. If you make $60,000 a year, live in an expensive city, have student loans, you are basically surviving. Saving money is hard, investing is almost impossible. Building genuine wealth seems like a distant dream. But if you earn $180,000 a year, even after taxes and living costs, you have real ability to save and invest. In 10 years. With conservative investments, you can easily accumulate more than $500,000 in equity, and that difference doesn't necessarily come from being smarter or more talented. It comes from making different career choices, often choices that other people ignore out of prejudice. The 9 professions we discussed are not just jobs, they are vehicles for building real and sustainable wealth. The cost of not acting. Finally, consider the opportunity cost of not exploring these options. That if you continue in a job that pays $50,000 when you could be earning $180,000 in one of these professions, you are losing $130,000 a year. In 10 years, this is $1,300,000 in lost income. Not counting the compound effect if that money was invested. That's the real cost of getting stuck in conventional career narratives. It's not just about earning less. It's about losing literally millions of dollars over a lifetime because you've never considered alternatives that should make you uncomfortable. It should motivate you to at least seriously explore these options. We've reached the end of this revealing video. If you liked this content and want to continue discovering secrets about salaries and careers in the United States, don't forget to subscribe to the Salary Uncovered channel and activate the Tinkerbell. Leave your like in this video. Comment on which of these professions surprised you the most. Share this video with friends and family who are looking for new career opportunities. Your engagement makes all the difference and helps more people discover these amazing opportunities. See you in the next video.